Kia ora and welcome along to the Met Service National Forecast for Thursday the 20th of July. Well, as we go through the rest of today, we are going to find rain pushing in towards those northern parts of the country. Some heavy falls of rain possible for the likes of, say, Northland and Auckland, perhaps even the odd rumble of thunder. And that wet weather continues to move across towards the Coromandel and out towards the east over the next few days as well. You can see on the satellite picture, the activity is all the way towards the north and the west of the country. As we go through the rest of the day, that cloud will continue to feed across the more northern parts, and we are going to find some fairly wet weather up through there as well. Here's the charts as we go through the rest of this afternoon. There's that rainfall and some stronger northeasterly winds pushing in through Northland, Auckland and towards the Coromandel. If you're off to the opening ceremony of the FIFA Women's World Cup tonight, looks like it should be a dry start, but some wet weather for your journey home, I would think, and a rather blustery game too. But we are going to find, as we go through the nighttime, that rain continues to move down through Auckland and Coromandel. Some heavy falls to watch out for, and there are some severe weather watches and warnings in place. And you can see by the end of the night, that rain feeds in towards that eastern coast as well. And a rather blustery story for many of us across the North Side, even through in towards Friday as well. So during Friday, well, you can see we keep hold of that low pressure up towards the northern parts of the country. Continues to direct this rather brisk southeasterly feed of air right the way across us. Heavier rainfall perhaps in towards the likes of, say, those northern parts of Hawke's Bay, up in towards Gisborne, Tairafti. So we have got those watches in there for some warnings as well for the likes of Gisborne, Tairafti. And some stronger winds as well in towards likes of, say, Wellington, across in towards parts of Taranaki, and also across parts of the South Island. But it is, I think, going to be a rather blustery day right the way through in towards the afternoon on Friday. There are some severe weather watches with that rainfall and wind coming in from the north. It's with us from Thursday afternoon through Auckland and Northland in towards the Coromandel late tonight in towards Friday. And you can see there's another warning in place on that eastern coast for Tairafti, some watches as well for Hawke's Bay, some stronger winds through the eastern parts of the Bay of Plenty, and some stronger winds down across those northern parts of the South Island as we head into Friday as well. So plenty happening. Head along to the Met Service website for the latest information on those. But here's how Friday starts off. That wet weather in through Auckland and the Coromandel, those darker blues, a good indication of some heavier falls still pushing through on towards particularly those more eastern parts of the Coromandel. And you can see as well in towards the Bay of Plenty and that eastern coast, we keep hold of more cloud and wet weather. The western side of the North Island, from, say, Waikato down towards Waitomo, a bit more cloud and a few spots of rain, but generally a drier story than we'll find out towards the east. For, say, Taranaki down towards the likes of Kapiti, Manawatu, generally a better, brighter day. Might still find a bit more cloud from time to time, and still, I think, with a fair breeze running through the likes of, say, the Manawatu Gorge, it will still be rather windy in Palmerston North, and also a pretty windy day in Wellington too. A dry first thing, but a few showers arriving later on, but we'll keep more cloud and more wet weather on this eastern coast. With the air coming in from the north, there's nothing too cold to worry about. Top temperatures, highs around about 15 or 16 degrees Celsius, and our overnight temperatures at the coolest, 5 degrees. As we head down towards the South Island, there's still some better, brighter weather in store for the likes of, say, Southland and around that western coast. A great looking day for you. Plenty of dry, bright and sunny weather. As we head in towards Canterbury, we'll catch more cloud, and up in towards Kaikoura as well, a few showers to watch out for. We've also got that rather brisk wind as well, particularly around the tops of the Sounds. But we've also got that watch out through the likes of Nelson, Tasman, down through those northern parts of Westland, and up in towards parts of Marlborough as well. So those southeasterly winds will be ramping up as they come down the other side of the mountains, and then squeezing through places like Greymouth will be a rather windy start today. So head along to the Met Service website for the latest on those wind watches. But you can see, if you're looking for the driest, brightest weather, it's down south. But it will also be one of the coolest spots. Top temperatures in Queenstown, 7 degrees Celsius. Overnight temperatures back down below freezing. Nice, clear, crisp, cold night in store as we head on in towards Saturday. Speaking of Saturday, that low pressure hasn't moved very far at all. We've still got that general easterly feed of air, so it's going to carry on bringing more cloud and wet weather on those eastern coasts from, say, Gisborne right the way down towards Wellington and those northern parts of Marlborough as well. So we are looking at a fairly wet story on the eastern side of the North Island. Still a rather brisk wind coming up in towards the likes of Wellington as well. On the other side of the country, on the west, things generally are drier and brighter. Not a bad looking Saturday up towards Auckland, Tamaki Makaurau, but I think we are going to find generally a cloudier story and a wetter story out towards the east. A little bit of a caveat, where this low pressure goes will be the driving force in who gets the heaviest rainfall as we go through towards Sunday. So there is still a lot to play for in terms of the heaviest rainfall on that eastern coast for that second half of the weekend. So do please keep up to date with the forecast. And as always, you can find all that latest information at metservice.com.